Minneapolis. It's all you. Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Madison Board of Public Works and Safety. Today's Monday, June the 6th. We are filming today's meeting on the City of Madison's YouTube channel, and it will be available for viewing live or afterwards. May we have a roll call, please? Test.
Eaglin,
Here.
Mayor Courtney,
Here.
Carlo.
Here.
All right, Board, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes from May 16th? It seems like a long time ago, but it wasn't. Any additional amendments or items on those minutes? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes for the May 16th meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thank you. All right, first item of business is, well, we have two resolutions that are categorized as unfinished, and they've been tabled since March 21st and April 18th. I think what I've heard is both of those events are not requesting street closure, so I would move that we remove, did those have resolution numbers, clerk?
Only the street closing for the Derma barn,
Okay,
which was 32B.
32B. Okay, I move that we remove both resolutions from unfinished business and take it off the agenda.
I'll second the mayor's motion.
Any additional discussion, comments, or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you. All right, moving on. We have resolution 36B 2022. I'll turn it over to the clerk.
Resolution 36B 2022, a resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana.
Clerk, may I ask you to turn your mic on, please?
So
Thank you.
sorry.
Yep.
For the purpose of accepting transfer of certain real property to the City of Madison, whereas Vicki Shermer and Pauline Hensler as trustee of the Charles M. Hensler trustee created under will dated December 6, 2007, have determined that certain real property was to have been previously transferred to the City of Madison to allow for utility operations on said real properties. Said real property is located in Jefferson County, Indiana, and more particularly described as follows. Part of lot number 1 in Deer View subdivision in Hanover Township, Jefferson County, Indiana. See Plat Book 3, page 20, and the Recorder's Office of Jefferson County, Indiana. Parcel number 39-13-006-300-054.000-002. Address of real property is 3900 plus West Deer Bend Drive, Hanover, Indiana 47243. Whereas Vicki Shermer and Pauline Hensler as trustee of the Charles M. Hensler Trust created under will dated December 6, 2007, are desirous of conveying said above described real property to the City of Madison, Indiana. Whereas the Board of Public Works and Safety believes it is in the best interest of the City of Madison, Indiana to accept this gift of real property, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana as follows. 1, that the Board of Public Works and Safety hereby approves of the conveyance of the real estate more particularly described as follows from Vicki Shermer and Pauline Hensler as trustee of the Charles M. Hensler Trust created under will dated December 6, 2007 by warranty deed to the City of Madison, Indiana. As the previously stated description, we'll skip that for again, that the Board of Public Works and Safety hereby directs the mayor of the City of Madison to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate the transfer of the above described real estate to the City of Madison, Indiana. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, duly adopted by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, this 6th day of June, 2022.
Okay, thank you. Board, this transfer's been in the process, it seems like, for a really long time. As you can see, the transfer was granted under a will dated 2007. City of Madison has a lift station on that property, hence the need for transferring it to us.
Is this something that we're probably maintaining this lot right now anyway, aren't we?
Mhm.
Okay. So there's no change as far
Nope.
as maintaining the lot?
No, this is This just documents the actual transfer of that parcel where our lift station's located to the city.
I make a motion that we accept the resolution 36B on the transfer of property.
Okay?
I'll second that motion.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay, moving on. We have a street closing event planned for Farm to Table. Welcome.
Good morning.
Test, test. I can kind of hear myself. Clerk, you want to introduce this resolution?
Resolution number 37B-2022, a resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana regarding a street closing for Farm to Table. Whereas there has been a request filed by Austin Sims on behalf of Madison Main Street Program for a street closing for said group in connection with its Farm to Table event to be held Sunday, September 4th, 2022. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, that both the northbound and southbound lanes and the sidewalks of the Broadway Street from north side of Main Street to the south side of Third Street shall be closed from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday, September 4th, 2022. Be it further resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, that said street and sidewalks as closed shall be under the supervision and control of the Madison Main Street Program at the times noted above for the year 2022.
Good morning. You want to describe this event, and thank you for all the work that went into preparing the event planning guide for us. Awesome, appreciate it.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you all having that,
Yeah.
the new requirements for that. This event is the same as it has been in previous years. We anticipate 160 people to attend, max. The street closure request will be as stated from noon until after the event that day. And that is mostly so we can set up earlier in the day, tables, chairs, all of that, and we'll be ready to go for dinner later in the evening. If you've attended that event before, we have dining out on the street of Broadway and up on the fountain. You'll see in the event requirements that there is a small map of what we're anticipating at this time for the layout. We will have a number of food vendors from farmers market supplying the product for the dinner. Those are farmers market vendors. And this is a direct fundraiser for our farmers market and farm to table event in Madison Main Street Program. So it is a very locally heavy event. Local chefs, local food, local products, local volunteers, right at the Broadway
It's
Fountain.
one of the most unique events in Madison all year long. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
always a
right,
lot of
right
fun.
around the fountain, and if you have good weather that evening, it's just fantastic.
Typically, it's a four-course meal, and we have music and art. We partner with the Art Alliance on that, and then the musicians are those that have also been to the farmers market on Saturday too, so we can tie that back into the event.
Well, your plan that you've put together, I mean, that should probably be a model for other festivities in the city, because it's just well-written, and I think you covered just about everything there is to cover.
Awesome.
And you have
Thank you.
weather plans and the street closures, and it's done very well.
Great, thank you.
We are getting way more information about the events that are going on across the community, and particularly the planning that's going behind the scenes than ever before. So thank you for doing that. I do have a couple questions on the plan, if you don't mind. Under, on page 2, under the pedestrian and crowd management plan,
Yes.
what's anticipated, and I don't recall, but what's anticipated for the barricades on the north and southbound lanes between Main and Third?
We have barricades there as usual, so that was put into the street closure and park closure request. And then we rope off the entire area with stanchions and or we tie them to the trees and the lamp posts in the area to fully enclose it, so that everyone stays there, because we do serve alcohol with our permit for the event. So physical barricades there, and then we have roped barricades too.
Are they the concrete ones? Do
No,
you know?
they're just the standard three-piece barricades, like what's used for farmers market as well.
Okay. I may ask, street department to consider, if you don't have any objections, to
Yeah.
using the concrete ones.
Sure.
Because there will be tables set up on the street, and a plastic sawhorse type barricade is not gonna be sufficient for, safety, in my opinion, because you'll have a lot of people attending, walking, sitting, dining, actually on the streets.
Yeah.
And there's north and southbound traffic, north and south of there. I think it would be beneficial if we used concrete barricades for those main entry points rather than just the plastic sawhorse barricades.
Okay.
I think that would definitely make it safer. And then the other one is, under Emergency and Risk Management Plan, the
Yes.
Event Ops Center. I know you'll have staff there. It's also, and you're probably already doing this, Austin, but notify fire, police, EMS that the event is occurring.
Okay.
And not that they'll need to be stationed there, but creating the awareness that the event is occurring and there will be a gathering there. I think we'll just put everybody on cue, and maybe even central dispatch, that it is occurring. And then my last comment is, under infrastructure, facilities, and parks, I'm assuming you get an A&E permit for the entertainment there, and you're working with excise, I'm assuming, for the alcohol
Yes.
sales? Okay. And you're already in touch with the people you need to coordinate with for inspections prior to
Yes.
the event? Okay.
Yeah, that's typically what we do. Once we apply for the permit, then we notify them, and it kind of follows in that order. And we use, last year we used Madtown Liquors to supply the alcohol, and it was really great, just to keep it so that we were popping tops and not mixing drinks or having hard liquor at the event. So we'll most likely use them again. It was really great to use another local supplier.
Okay. Any comments or questions from Austin?
I make a motion, we approve, the resolution 37B for the, street closing for our
Okay.
farm to table.
I'll second that motion.
Comments or questions from the audience? Abigail, do you have any comments or questions? Are you sure? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, good job, too.
Great, thank you all. We'll see you there. I'll let you know when tickets go on sale.
Great event. Looking forward to it. We're ordering good weather already. All right, moving on to additional work for Oak Hill Quotes. Invite Deputy Mayor McGee here to talk about that.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
What you have in front of you are 3 quotes, 3 estimates for some additional work that needs to happen as part of the Oak Hill project. As we are moving through that neighborhood, we're, of course, finding things that are underground that need to get replaced, and makes sense to do that while we're working, and cutting up streets doesn't matter when we're getting ready to redo the streets. So we have a lot of drainage issues up there. We've already corrected some. But there are 2 places where we're going to have to get some work done on top of that. One is the line that runs under Oak Hill, and it will include a new catch basin and the new line. The other piece is actually in our easement between two houses. Our line runs back through there. The line is collapsed, and there was a huge amount of foliage and trees planted through that section. So the roots grew into it. It all has to be taken out. We've already taken down the trees and paid for that and cut all the brush out and got all the vegetation out of there. But now the line has to get dug out and replaced and repaired. So you have 2 quotes for that. One is from All Star Paving. You'll find theirs on 2 different pages for each set of work. The other 2 from Saddam Contracting and Riverside Group, they have included on one page for you, 2 separate sections, and I totaled them manually for you. So you can see the range of costs was from $28,800 up to $41,800. My recommendation to you is approval for the Saddam Contracting bid. We did require all 3 include flowable fill as a replacement instead of just gravel like normal, so that it will maintain its structure and not, cause the street to buckle later. So all of 3 quotes include that information, but our recommendation is to go with the Sedam contracting quote. And Kenny will be on site to monitor that everything happens the way we want.
Do you think 24 inch is gonna be large enough? I mean, or is it a good time now to maybe move to a larger pipe, or do we,
I'd have
it's
to.
hard to say, cause some of those lines have been collapsed over the years.
Well, that's the thing, there's a lot of the older lines up there that are collapsed. This was Kenny's recommendation, and I'm sorry I can't speak to it, I can ask him before we go ahead with it to make sure. But I know that a lot of the under-road structures that we're replacing right now, it's really gonna improve the drainage up there. There's a lot of standing water up there, especially in all those cul-de-sacs, because some of those lines were just not moving at all. We have found debris in the catch basins, an old tire. We've found chairs. We've found things that people have intentionally put down in the catch basins, so it's blocking the water flow. I think, based on that, I think when we get these all corrected, I think it's gonna flow really well. And we're doing some work, and also, we're not working in people's yards, but it has created a lot more work that people are now doing. We've had several residents and all of the residents in certain cul-de-sacs that have agreed to go together and replace the sewer lines. While we have everything torn up, and they're dividing the cost between the homeowners on that, so a lot of good work is going on up there.
I was just thinking, with everything opened up the way it is right now, if there's a need to upgrade, it would be a good time to maybe move to a 36-inch line there.
Yeah, I'll
whatever
double
it
check
takes.
with Kenny on that.
Okay. That's my only question.
Okay.
And Mindy, so All-Star is doing, they're doing the asphalt, they're doing the sidewalks, they're doing gutter pans, they're doing the aprons by the driveways, and you don't see an issue with another contractor coming in on-site at the same time they're doing things? I mean, do you see that as a coordination issue? I mean, I know they're the low bidder of the 3.
Yes, they're not working in the same place at the same time. It would have
Okay.
been my preference. It would have made a lot of sense to have the same company just go in there and do it all. But they had an opportunity to quote, and theirs was quite a bit higher than everyone else, so.
That's surprising, since they're already on site.
Yeah,
I would
Yeah.
have thought their bid would have come in
right.
the lowest instead of the highest, so.
Good news is we have 3 qualified contractors here. Each of them can do the work,
Right.
which is, we're all fortunate about. Board, any comments or questions? And your recommendation is to accept the CDM contracting a quote of $28,800 for
Yes.
the work that you've outlined? Okay.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we accept the recommendation of Sedan Contractors for the total $28,800 for the project in Oak Hill.
I'll second David's motion.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
Thank you,
Mindy,
Board.
thank you. Right, moving on. Chief John I. Wallace, America's Chief, is here relative to some recommendations for City Hall.
I do. First, I'd like to present this to you. It was actually given to one of my officers over the weekend. It was found in the walls at Crystal Beach. And there's some, yeah,
What?
There's some old photos in
That's
there.
not, that's
Wow.
not light white there.
I don't know who that is, but.
What?
Yeah, it was actually one of the construction workers turned it over to one of my officers this weekend. Said, hey, we found this in the walls at Crystal Beach during construction, so.
This is a family,
It says family.
it's
yeah,
a
not lot-
family album.
Not a lot of info, but there's some,
You know who that is?
No, not that old.
yeah, some
Oh, wow.
pretty neat stuff.
Well, this is amazing. We'll
Yeah,
have to,
so I'm glad it was found and turned over to the right folks.
we'll
and-
find out who this,
Wow.
this is,
Yeah.
was found in a wall?
Yeah, that's what the construction worker, told, it's pretty neat.
Pretty neat.
Leila and Richard. This is
name,
Leila.
Please, all.
Sorry about interrupting the entire meeting.
That's all right. You'll find these things in the wall.
Oh my gosh,
That often?
that's.
Yeah,
that's-
whenever you
that's-
find something in the wall somewhere, of a building that old.
There's a lot of military pictures. Of course, today's D-Day, so that's kind of,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Neat stuff.
yeah.
All right, Board also have, our monthly activity for the month of May from the department. I'd like to
Thank you.
share with you.
Thank you.
And then also, we may have to break out the bifocals on these, but this is our traffic division and our part-time officer and the events and details in which they've worked on.
Your traffic division is doing an amazing job
They are, aren't they?
with
Yeah.
trucks.
Yes,
Yes.
and we branched that out to the, the joint community events, such as, they're doing a lot of patrols on the golf cart, but, this morning we visited Live White Boys and Girls Club, our traffic division, along with, Officer Nicole Midget, our new canine handler, and put on a little display, took the dog up, and the kids just loved it, so that's working out well. That's is equally as, or probably more important than anything else we can do, is spend time with our area youth and in this light, because it certainly sheds a different light on law enforcement than what is normally portrayed or seen, so
Do you,
glad to do that.
on your parking problem, do you see a lot of people parking against the traffic in that?
Some,
Yeah.
we do, but not a lot, but some. And
Yeah.
I guess when you do see it, it really stands out, but,
It does.
yeah.
I know I was on, Fourth Street the other day, and there was like 3 cars off,
Yeah.
facing the wrong direction in the
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, it does stand
And you
out.
very seldom see it on Main Street.
Right.
Or Broadway, but the secondary streets, you do see it.
I'll
And the
point out-
traffic is less, so it's
Yes.
kind of less of an issue. But
And they've developed a good working relationship, I feel now, with Dewey, our code enforcement officer. I told him he's the CEO of the city. He didn't realize it.
He
He is,
didn't
yeah,
know
He's the CEO, code enforcement officer of the city, but he's doing a great job, and they're working hand in hand with Dewey on the abandoned vehicles especially. So we're getting quite a few of those removed, but to be honest,
41 abandoned vehicles removed through the NMA. That's great.
most of the time, they'll once that sticker goes on, that 21-day notice goes into effect, they'll go ahead and remove it themselves. We're talking about the ones on private property here.
Yeah.
Mostly, so that's a big plus. And then
Looks like most of your activities, month to month, stay relatively
steady, yeah, it picks up,
steady. Yeah.
certainly picks up in the month of May and June as far as, call volume, that type of thing goes, just because the weather's getting warmer. But we actually had 80 arrests in June, 127 citations, 184 warnings, and took 173 case reports and 25 accident reports. So it's certainly a busy month. As of the end of May, we've executed 2,172 traffic stops in the city. So these numbers for this, at the end of this year, are going to dwarf any numbers that we've ever had.
a lot of that on
forever
Main
this
Street.
department. A lot of it on Main. A lot of warnings, which is fine. Most folks, that usually gets the message across, but, and a lot of it's been down on Vaughn Drive as well. We try to monitor that, especially early in the morning when folks are out walking, and slow that traffic down too, so. But there's always gonna be one or two that speed that we don't see, and I'll get a call on, but we're out there trying, giving it our best, that's for sure.
Well, I think this just emphasizes that we get the result we're looking for when we apply the right amount of resources
Yes,
to it,
absolutely.
right? And so,
And that all attribute back to this administration. I mean, we certainly would not be able to do that if we didn't have the manpower, the lady power to do it, so
we,
makes all the difference.
it still amazes me just how much traffic issues we have across our community for our town. I know that we have several state highways that intersect our community. We're very, we have a lot of tourism-driven traffic in our community too, but a lot of just speeding in general, and then you've done a great job with semi-traffic on Main Street, and keep up the good work here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll certainly pass it on.
Chief, I noticed stolen vehicles for the month of May took a pretty good jump. Anything you can contribute to that?
What'd that jump to, Dave? I didn't see.
It's on the second page.
That's a 10.
Yeah, 10 compared to usually 2 or 3, yeah.
How about golf cart traffic and stoppages? Do we have anything on that?
No, but that's probably a stat we should keep, but we do monitor the radio quite often. We do make several traffic stops on golf carts.
Yeah.
And, I would just like to remind the public, and especially back in our neighborhoods, that, it's not safe and it's not legal for your kids under the age of 16 without a license to go out and just tool around the subdivision on the golf carts. And that's something we need to get out and do a better job of. And law enforcement is cracking down on that, you know.
I know up on my road there, Green Road, you see more and more,
Yes.
traffic, more and more golf cart permits, I'm sure, will be an issue every year, and it's, I mean,
Yes.
it's a popular thing, but
It
still
is.
need to keep it safe.
Yeah, it's a great thing for our community. I'm
really
all
is.
about it, but yeah, we gotta remember safety first, and just a reminder that you have to have a valid license to be operating one. You can't let the kids go out and take some of their friends and think it's a safe, enjoyable, time out, because it's not, and they can be very dangerous and even deadly, so. Just don't get too lax as far as letting our kids go out and do those type of things.
Good job.
But yeah, otherwise, it's going great. One other thing I'd like to mention to the board, and I will mention this to the council, and this is solely on me, but, you know, I would like to work with this administration and upgrade our security measures within City Hall. I know everybody loves open government, and when I was sheriff, and we had to do that at the courthouse, and put in the metal detectors, now I'm not saying we need metal detectors here, but it wasn't a real popular at that time, but I think we found, you know, that it was needed after the fact, and it's needed here at City Hall. We just simply, in this day and age and time, you know, can allow our current security go on as is. And my recommendation, I don't want to go into a lot of details for obvious reasons, but I would like to, you know, get this board's blessing to work with this administration and move forward in increasing our security here at City Hall. Again, I don't want to go into details, but we've got to do something. We just can't keep going forward the way we are. I fear that.
We have a lot of staff that work here, and we have a lot of visitors who are in the office all the time. And I applaud you, and I look forward to some recommendations, Chief, on what we can do to make this a safer place for everybody.
It's unfortunate.
It's an important
I know
topic.
we all love the openness, but
Yeah.
the openness also creates a lot of substantial risks that I don't feel that we can afford to take.
I was in the courthouse, part-time when you started that program up there, and you started on the Jefferson Street
Yeah.
door, and that didn't work out. We
Right.
moved the
Yeah, we
other
moved it,
door,
right.
and.
It's a little bit of a trial and error.
It goes
but
very well
yeah,
now.
Yeah, I think we got it figured out, but.
Yeah, it works very well up at the courthouse. I like the one door in, it's
Yes.
safer.
Yes, and there have been some improvements here, you know, with security measures, but there's other steps that I believe we need to take to secure our building here for this administration and for future administrations to come. And,
That's it.
You know, unfortunately, those type of things and risk and threats aren't going to change, so we need to take measures to mitigate them.
Workplace safety and school safety are two very important topics for everybody.
Absolutely. Especially governmental buildings. I
Yep.
mean, because the rules and regulations and guidelines are made there, and not everybody agrees with them, and not everybody reacts in a manner in which it should, so,
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's a shame that we have to be discussing this, but in the world we live in today,
Yes,
you've got to think safety and protection and.
but we have the absolute responsibility to make sure that these fine folks working in here now and in the future go home safe, so there's some certain measures we need to take to do that, I think.
Do we need to make a motion to recommend that the chief put together a plan and present it to us?
I don't think we need a motion, but I appreciate the chief bringing it up, and when he brings a recommendation, maybe we can adopt those plans. Certainly, there'll be confidentiality associated with the majority of it, but
Right.
he'll share it with each of us.
And again, this is solely on me. I've been hammering away for a while, so,
Well, you did a good job at the courthouse with that.
thank you.
That's worked out well. And we have had situations here at City Hall where we've had to call police, and of course, there's a reaction time that's involved in that, and sometimes these instances only last a minute or two. But training and preparation will allow us to have a successful workplace safety program for everybody,
Yeah, a lot of bad things can happen in a minute, as we've unfortunately found out.
unfortunately.
Sure.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much, Chief. Okay, moving on, we have several PACE programs, Midpoint, final, and extensions. We'll turn it over to Nicole.
Thank you. Start with my one midpoint for 422 St. Michael's. This is a couple befores and durings of the project. They are currently working through rebuilding that rear addition and adding siding to the property. They have met their halfway point requirements, so they're asking for a disbursement of $12,500.
Go ahead and take these one at a time, since that's the only Midpoint. We have a motion to approve Midpoint payment for $12,500 for 422 St. Michael's.
I'll make that motion.
Any second?
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Big difference there. You didn't have a front elevation picture on that, did you, back there?
I did not, know.
Okay.
They're not doing much on the front, because they didn't have a window in yet. First final is for 411 St. Michael's Avenue. This is before as they worked on, siding, fascia, soffits, and, window repair. And they've done a great job on,
Yes.
restoring this building.
That looks real
They're-
nice. I've gone by it several times.
real nice.
Nice job.
Yeah. Their project was completed according to their PACE grant. They're asking for the amount of $7,500. Next final is for 410 St. Michael's, right across the street. This is one of our dangerous buildings that was demolished. It's been completed. And they actually just submitted this morning their plans for the new build for historic board approval.
That's
So
great.
they're asking for the full amount of $10,000.
Okay.
The next two kind of go hand in hand. It's 505 Walnut Street and 507 Walnut Street. These are two of our dilapidated structures that sustained fire damage. Both have been rehabilitated inside and out. This one received a new siding, windows, doors, as well as structural stability in the interior. And this grant amount will be for $12,500. And the same with 507 Walnut Street, completed their renovation. Interior and exterior, again, smart siding on the rear side of this, as well as tuck pointing, windows, doors, and then structural interior. Also for the amount of $12,500.
Certainly improved the neighborhood out there. Get those two fixed up.
If you look at this, this is part of our revitalization area that we're targeting from East Street, Third to Walnut, and then north on Walnut. Tremendous amount of investment and work and improvement in property values there, and blight elimination, which is happening. And of course, we just saw two properties on St. Michael's too. All of those, blend in together. They're connectors. And very grateful for all the investment that's happening here. We're a small part of the investment. There is a tremendous amount of private investment happening on top of the PACE program funding that is going into these projects. And so I think that it's been put to good use. The leveraging on our city dollars with private investment is very significant, and we're taking, once dilapidated, blighted properties and improving a whole neighborhood and bringing housing stock back online. So, and it's hopefully as people drive through this area, they'll see that all the improvements happening in that corridor.
And one issue here was access to the rear, and I know Bob Shainstein gave them access across his property off of Third Street. Cause he saw what the neighborhood improvements were gonna be, and of course, it makes his properties all along that area more valuable. So they're working together.
Rises everybody's property values and also incentivizes additional investment, which I think is happening all along that area. So great to see. And if you recall, I believe in the last meeting, we approved a lot of new PACE applications, and several of them were in the targeted area for investment that is making much needed, exterior improvements and in some instances, complete rehabilitation and reconstruction of these properties that have been damaged.
Nicole, on these 505 and 507, was the rear structures, were they rebuilt or were they demolished and
Yes, they were demolished and rebuilt.
rebuilt? Okay.
Yeah, the fires were very
Yeah,
substantial in the
you
rear.
can kind of see it on 505. They kept the brick facades of the buildings and then built frame structures clear back, including where those additions were.
Yeah, it's brand new, about 6 feet back. And
I think we showed some, or I don't know if we did it here, but you should, go back and look at the images of what those properties looked like when they started in 2019, late 2019. And of course, they've gone through supply chain issues, contractor issues, labor shortages, but they've carried through and have sold both of those properties. So I think it's a win-win for the entire neighborhood and community. And I'm excited to see what the Hammocks are doing with St. Michael Street property. That's going to be another win-win too.
Yep. I make a motion, we approve the final base grants for 411 St. Michael's, 410 St. Michael's, 505 Walnut, and 507 Walnut.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion, comments, or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
And then I have one extension request by Melinda Acree for her grant at 216 East 2nd Street. She's requesting an additional 12 months, which would make her new deadline May 17th, 2023. She was approved for a $3,402 grant and has not received any disbursement. They're asking for the extension because they are planning to build new wood doors instead of purchasing them. So they need just a little bit extra time to source the materials and get them built.
Are they gonna be built by a local?
I believe he's gonna try to build them himself.
Okay. Okay, so they'll do
Is the
that with
plan.
local, yeah.
Keith is very talented.
That's what I was told.
I'll make a motion, we approve the extension for 216 East 2nd Street.
I'll second David's motion.
Comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work there. Now we'll move into claims. Board, you have the claims in front of you.
Mayor had an opportunity to
Yep.
review the claims. With that being said, I'll make a motion that the claims be approved as submitted.
I'll second David's motion.
Comments or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. All right, Mayor's comments, not a whole lot to add here. I do want to give the board an update on a couple of things. We were just talking about PACE and the success of the PACE, and you may have seen a press release on this, but National Park Service has awarded City of Madison a $325,000 historic preservation grant that will be contributed to our PACE program. What's exciting and different about this is that our PACE program's been very successful. We've leveraged up the city's investment materially to create additional private investment that's raising property values, eliminating blight, improving safety in those neighborhoods, making them cleaner, safer, more beautiful. This part of the program will provide matching funds for those who want to participate in the PACE program. So it's pretty exciting that we'll be able to expand and leverage those particularly homeowner occupied properties who need also to have some exterior restoration or rehabilitation on their properties that may have been unable to provide the match, and that's what this additional grant's going to do. So we're reaching deeper into the housing market there, and not only, supporting, larger investment projects by investors, but homeowner occupied ones as well. Or if you rent a property and you have permission by the property owner, you can participate.
Mayor, is this grant fully funded, or does the city have a match?
There's not a match with that,
Okay.
other than what we're already putting in our PACE program. We were one of only two. We were one of only two recipients in the entire state to receive these funds from National Park Service, so it's great to have that. Secondly, Crystal Beach, we're continuing to work on not only a continued restoration plan for the pool side, but the financial plan that goes along with it. I toured the property last week. The pool house itself is going great. You'll see a lot of continued, construction on the exterior, particularly with the new elevators being put in place. The interior is coming along. That's looking very, very good for a late summer, early fall opening for year-round usage. But we are also working on, again, the scope of work and financial plan for the Crystal Beach portion of it, which is the pool itself. Tomorrow night at City Council, I just want to let the board know that our Jefferson County EMA Director, Troy Morgan, will be present there to just do an educational and community awareness presentation on the importance of situational awareness, particularly with weather emergencies that can happen and has happened, obviously, during spring and summer. He's there for informational purposes. And then lastly, we continue to work on our flood mitigation plan. Army Corps of Engineers is probably about 6 or 7 months into the planning work that they're doing for the Crooked Creek watershed. And we get regular updates from them. They're working on the hydraulic and hydrological analysis for the watershed, and we're looking forward to some recommendations from them probably in September. So if you remember when we started on this process with the Army Corps of Engineers, we identified that would be a year-long process, and it's going to take every bit of that. But we're also continuing to work with DNR and NDOT as part of bringing solutions to the table to mitigate future flash flooding events with the Crooked Creek watershed. So that is continuing on. And it's my understanding that in addition to supporting the City of Madison Clean Drinking Water project, the Jefferson County Commissioners are also going to be recommending participating in helping us financially. They're helping us financially with the cost for the flood mitigation program. So that, I believe, they're going to be making some formal recommendations to County Council at the June 14th meeting. So everything's moving forward in that direction, and I'll stop there, and we'll open it up to public comment, or if the board has any questions for the mayor, I'd be happy to answer them.
I have one question, and it has to do with, of course, the Crystal Beach being closed, and of course, there's a lot of kids out and need something to do. It just makes sense, good sense to me to get the William Milton playground unlocked. At least during the daylight hours. I don't know if you could talk to the schools about it, but it's an excellent playground.
Yep, I will re-engage with them. We did have an arrangement with them where they would unlock the playground, but there were some concerns over insurance matters and other things that the school expressed. But I'll follow with them. As you know, they're into the process of selecting a new school superintendent, but I can certainly speak with their facilities management about that. And then outside of the Linda Milton playground, we've got a couple dozen other parks across town that our kids can go to and enjoy. And there's a lot of summer programming, particularly with youth programming. And then the Boys Club and Girls Inc. are having their summer programs. And we're also working with DNR and OVO on arrangements for Clifty Falls State Park and the pool there. So lots going on with the area's youth and families in our community with regard to summer programming. There's a park board meeting tonight, so if you want to join that discussion, that's happening tonight here, 5:30, I believe. Any other comments or questions? Yes, oh, we have one more from Mindy.
Yeah, I just wanted to update Mr. Eaglin. I let Kenny know about the approval of the sedan bid and asked about the 24-inch pipe. Here's his answer. It only has 18 and 20-inch now.
Oh, okay.
Also, the new smooth bore pipe will handle more flow.
True.
And we have double chair back intakes now that are gonna be replaced, so that'll help the flow as well.
Thank Kenny for that. Thank you for that.
Will do.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So there's an upgrade going on then. That's good.
Oak Hill is a fantastic project, and it's going to make a meaningful difference in that neighborhood, which has not had any major investment for a couple of decades there. So we're already seeing some properties, some homeowners working on their properties up there too as a result of this.
I try to drive through there at least once a week to check on the work, and they're making good, fast progress, and it's really going to be
Maybe a shelf life neighborhood.
it's good, yeah.
It's going to be great.
Exactly.
Right, anybody else? Anybody here would like to address the board?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Thanks everyone for attending today, appreciate it.